Hi. All right, so we're going to try something new. We are going to practice writing notes independently while I am doing small groups and working with you individually. So, on your notes, I want you to make sure that you always highlight what I highlight. Um, Make sure you're setting it up just like I do so that it will look just like mine when you are done. The advantage of taking notes on a video is if I am going too fast for you to copy it down, go ahead and pause where you need to. All right, so for today's lesson, we are going to go over Module 2, Lesson 22. Our objective for today, our purpose is I will be able to divide 3 and 4 digit dividends by 2 digit divisors. Okay, so a reminder, if you need to kind of go back to lesson 19 notes, we have our steps and our definitions. Standard algorithm division is always dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. So right here's your example. 590 divided by 17 is equals to what? That's what we're solving. That first number right here is your dividend. The second number is your divisor, and then your answer is your quotient. And so we are solving for the quotient. We're trying to figure out what that is. If you look back at lesson 19, our steps are going to tell you that you need to estimate first, then we're going to solve, and then we're going to check using multiplication to make sure that our answer is correct. So to estimate, remember, we are always starting with the divisor, and we round our divisor. 17, if I was to round that, would be 20. Okay, and I'm kind of going backwards here. And then if I am thinking of multiples that divide by 2, so now I need to estimate 590. What is a nice number that would be easily divisible by 2? Well, I can say 600. So now if I am going to easily solve this, I need to think, well, how many times does 20 fit into 600? Well, I know I can divide by 10, and I can automatically eliminate those two zeros. And now I have 60 divided by 2. Then I can say, well, how many times does 2 fit into 60? And to do that, I can say, well, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and there's 1 0 left over. So I know my answer should be somewhere close to 30. So now that's what I'm going to be looking for. When I solve this, if my answer is not somewhere close to 30, well, then I know that my answer is way off and I need to go back and reevaluate. So now to solve. Step 1 is to estimate. If we go back and look at our steps, our step 2 is to set it up in standard algorithm. And to do that, our divisor is always on the outside of the house. So I'm going to put 17 on the outside of the house. And our dividend always goes on the inside of the house. So 590 is going to go on the inside of our house. So my first step now is to figure out how many times does 17 fit into 590. So if I look, I have to evaluate each one of these digits individually. Can 17 fit into 5? Well, no, 17 does not fit into 5. So I'm going to put a placeholder. I'm going to put a 0 right here, right on top of that 5, so that I know exactly where it is that I am at. Now I need to think, well, how many times can 17 fit into 59? And over here, when we did this estimate, the reason we did this estimate is so that we can get a general idea of where to start to see if our answer is correct. So I know it's about 3 times, right? So I'm going to just quickly check over here. Well, 17 times 3, I need to know exactly what that answer is to know if that's the correct option I should choose. I have 21. 3 plus 2, that's 5. So I have 51. Well, 51 looks like a good reasonable answer because I can't make another group of 17. So 3 is going to go right here on top of my 9. 17 times 3 is now 51. So I did my division, I did my multiplication. Now I'm going to subtract. 9 take away 1 is 8. 5 take away 5 is 0. So now my next step is I have to divide again. 17, how many times does it go into 8? Well, 17 doesn't fit into 8, and I still have a number over here. So I'm going to call for backup reinforcements. I'm going to bring down that 0. And now I need to think, well, how many times does 17 fit into 80? If I think about that 20 that I estimated earlier, I can think, well, 20, 40, 60, 80, well, maybe 4 times, so I can try it out. I know 17 times 3 is 51, but I can add another group of 17 in there. So I'm going to just check really quick. 17 times 4, 28, 68. Okay, what about 17 times 5? And make sure you're very neat here. 35, 85. 85 is too high, so I know it cannot be that one. So I'm going to go with the 4, which is 68. So I'm going to put my 4 up here, top of that 0. Subtract 68. More on the floor. I need to go next door. I can't take away 8 from 0, so I need to borrow. My 8 becomes a 7. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. 7 take away 6 is 1. Now I have a remainder of 12. So my answer is 34, remainder 12. Okay. Before I'm done, I have to make sure that I check using multiplication. So in order to do that, I'm going to take my quotient of 34, multiply it by 17. Okay, when I do that, I get 34 times 17. 7 times 4 is 28. 8 goes down, 2 goes up. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2, 22, 23. Okay, cross, add my 0 because I'm done with that ones place. I'm moving over to the tens. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Add those together. 8, 7, 5. I have 578, which is still not what I started with. It should match up to my original dividend, but I still need to add that my remainder plus 12. So now I have 578 plus 12. 8 and 2 is 10. Carry over the 1. 7, 8, 9, and 5. My answer checks. Now I know that 34 remainder 12 is the correct answer. All right, so now if we're looking at our problem set, lesson 22 in our problem set, it has an example already done for you right here on A. It says divide, then check using multiplication. The first one is done for you. I want you to continue to do the 3 steps, estimate, solve, and then check. So I am going to do C with you. So I'm just going to put estimate, solve, and check, just so that you can make sure you're doing all 3 steps. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round my 28, which is going to be 30. Then I have to think of my multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9. Well, I know 9 is a multiple of 3, so I'm just going to estimate that to be 900. Divide by 10, divide by 10. I have 90 divided by 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times and 1 0 left over. So I know, again, my answer should be somewhere close to 30. So now to solve, I'm going to set it up. My divisor goes on the outside of the house, and my dividend goes on the inside of the house. And now I'm going to start that whole process all over again. Can 28 fit into 9? No, it cannot. Can 28 fit into 94? Yes, it can, about 3 times, but I need to double check and make sure. 28 times 3, because this is just a starting point. It's just kind of an estimate of where you should be. 8 times 3 is 24. 6, 7, 8. I have 84. I cannot make 28 fit in there. Again, that'll be less than 94, so 3 is good. I already did the work. It's 84. I'm going to subtract it. 0, 1. So now I have 10. And now I need to think, well, can 28 fit into 10? Well, no, it cannot. And I still have a number over here to use as backup. So I'm going to bring down that 0. And now, just like before, I'm going to see, well, how many times does 28 fit into 100? Well, I know that 30 fits into 90 about 3 times. So I got to think, can I make another group of 28? Well, we can double check and see 28 times 4 and just check and see if it works out. So here's 32, 8, 9, 10. 102 is bigger than 100, so that will not work. We're going to have to go with 3 again. So I'm going to put my 3. I already have my answer here. It's 84. Subtract it. Now, I cannot take away 4 from 0. So I need to go all the way to my hundreds place and borrow. So more on the floor, go next door. Well, when I have a 0 again, I need to go again. So this 1 is going to become a 0. This first 0 is going to become a 10. But I need to borrow again. So he's going to become a 9. And this 0 is going to become a 10. Now I can subtract. 10 take away 4 is 6, 9 take away 8 is 1, and I have a remainder of 16. So now I have to check my answer. I need to take my quotient and my divisor and multiply them together. So 33 times 28, 8 times 3 is 24, 24 plus 2 is 26, cross, cross, 0, done with my ones place, moving on to my tens. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Going to add those together. 4, 12, 8, 9, 9, 24. But now I still need to add that remainder. So 9, 24 plus 16. 6 and 4 is 10. So 0 goes here. 1 goes up. 4, 9. 940 is my original dividend right here. Yes, my answer checks. 33 remainder 16 is my correct answer. So equals 33 remainder 16. Okay, now I want you to do B and D on your own.